What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Back at it again, my friends, with another banger, another live, a great discussion for y'all. So kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you understand what is going on in Seattle right now, and for lesser of better words, man, it's a storm right now. The WNBA has still not taken any efforts to address this situation. This franchise has hired a law firm to investigate Noelle Quinn and her coaching staff for harsh treatment, beratement, and allegations of straight harassment to players, demeaning them on the court, in practice, in games, allegedly, for poor performances. This is nasty work. When you think about what the Seattle Storm started as, a historic franchise, has won championships, and they put together this big three around Jewel Lloyd. They bring in Nneka Ogwumike, who's president of the Players Association. You bring in Skylar Diggins, who's been one of the most improved players in the WNBA, maybe the comeback player of the year, in my opinion. And you think you got this super team. Jewel Lloyd, Scott Diggs played together in college at Notre Dame. There's that chemistry there. We thought there was some sort of sisterhood there. We're getting reports that Ogwumike, as well as Scott Diggins-Smith, has unfollowed Jewel Lloyd on social media. Yo, Theo, welcome in, welcome in. Daniel, welcome in. Y'all, this Seattle Storm situation is insane right now. And the fact that the WNBA has not addressed, made a statement, or even acknowledged that one of their teams, their franchises, is investigating the coaching staff for mistreatment of players. We saw what just happened with the Las Vegas Aces. We saw what happened with the Mercury when Scott Diggs was there. You would think this league has learned its lesson about just handling situations the right way and addressing misconduct swiftly. Now, I get that the investigation is still underway. I get that this is still fresh, and maybe they're trying to gather all the facts. But you got to come out and say something, Kathy Engelberg. What are you doing right now? Because it's all bad. Everybody's talking about it. It's really bad right now. The Player Association has not released a statement. The WNBA has not released a statement. The Seattle Storm has their coaching staff under investigation. And something else, man, something else about this situation I don't like at all is the fact that Scott Diggs is being thrown under the bus. It's like an angry black woman. Why are they throwing Scott Diggs to the wolves right now, man? This was a quote that she came out and said. They're talking about how she was berating players and Coach Quinn was encouraging that type of behavior. But when you really look at one of the quotes they pulled in the Chicago Sun-Times reported initially about the mistreatment, the harassing, potential bullying. And when that bullying word gets thrown around, it's serious allegations. But this was one quote that they used from Skylar Diggins-Smith. In this league, if you aren't ready to play, you'll get beat every effing night. They were ready to play and we weren't. This was after a loss that they had against the Washington Mystics when they went downhill after the Olympic break. They were ready to play and we weren't on both sides of the basketball. They deserve to win the game. If we're going to play like that, we need to be hitting our stride right now. We're not there. It's unacceptable how we're playing on both sides of the basketball. And I effed it up at the end. She takes responsibility there. That's a terrible foul as a vet. You can't make that play, but it shouldn't come down to that. We all got to step our game up. In this league, it only gets harder after the break, and that's fine. That's fine. But if we don't come ready to play from the start, we're going to effing lose. Look, man, to me, just based off of how they're trying to do Scott Diggins-Smith, man, I think it's nasty work. It seems like she is just an old school player. We all played sports growing up, man. You all had a coach get in your face and cuss you out before. We all have had it. We've had teammates get into it before. And that's what it really seems like this is more of a case of. I don't like how they're throwing Scott Diggs under the bus, though, trying to make her like some stereotypical angry black woman or something like that. Like they're throwing nasty labels on Skylar Diggins-Smith, and she's been known to hold her teammates accountable. She's been known to be a very vocal presence in the locker room. But to paint her as a bad teammate, to paint her as a bully, is just nasty work in my opinion. I think it's nasty work, man. It's not cool. It's unnecessary, and I don't like it, man. And the coaching staff really hasn't had her back or stood up for her at all. I know even Tina Thompson came out and spoke on Scott Diggs' behalf, saying using your assumed power to harm others is always an attack on yourself. You never win. Your wrong will never be made right. Accept failure and move on. Stop being hella lame. It's super whack! Exclamation point. Scott Diggs quoted on Instagram, commented, "A word. A word." There is no way that they should be blaming her for this entire situation. And the fact, it sounds soft, man. It sounds like their locker room is soft. And it's crazy to me, too, that they were having players only meetings and they felt like Aguamake's loyalty was more so to the coaching staff and they couldn't even talk as players in front of her. But she spoke highly of the coaching staff and feels like they're doing the right thing and they're well representing these players. But I don't think they're doing right by Scott Diggs, man. And at this point, is there a coming back from this? Can you restore the sisterhood of this roster and move forward? Because they came to play with Jewel Lloyd, and this is just year one. This is just year one. But it is a bad look on the WNBA, man. And it seems like everybody's kind of ganging up on Skylar Diggins-Smith, who's never been deemed a bad teammate. But she on Instagram with some cryptic messages. She pulled out the Kendrick limits. She say, "Don't tell a lie on me." Y'all see it. Kendrick Lamar. "I won't tell the truth about you." That was what was posted on her Instagram, man. They're saying that she's throwing teammates under the bus. Lindy, what's up? Welcome in, welcome in. Guys, if this is your first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button, comment, like, share, all that good stuff. But the WNBA is really dragging their feet addressing this Seattle Storm situation. They still have not addressed what is going on whatsoever, acknowledge that one of their franchises is investigating its own coaching staff. This is just another stain on the cloth that is the WNBA, another chink in the shield, man. Like, this is just stuff that you don't really see in the NBA or really other professional leagues to this magnitude, man. But for them to be throwing Scott Diggs under the bus, painting her as an angry black woman, is nasty work. We know she's educated. We know that she's humble. We know that she's been a great ambassador for the league and for the game of women's basketball. So for them to throw her under the bus like she's some bully, just cussing people out for no reason, she's a competitor. Your locker room needs thicker skin. She is a competitor. And I understand certain things that were acceptable 10, 20 years ago are not really acceptable now, and they're frowned upon. But to throw her under the bus for demanding excellence from her teammates is nasty work. It's nasty work. It's totally unfair to her. Y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments. Talk to me in the comments. This Seattle Storm situation is absolutely insane. I just think the league is dragging their feet. The league is absolutely dragging their feet right now. I mean, this is the hottest topic in the WNBA right now going on. And the league has not addressed it at all. The Players Association has not addressed it at all. They haven't said anything about this chaos. I don't like what they're doing to Skylar Diggs, and she's obviously not afraid to speak up for herself. It was mentioned that her and Jewel Lloyd were getting into it. It was mentioned that Jewel Lloyd and head coach Noel Quinn have been getting into it in it was bad blood in the locker room. Losing does that. When you start off as one of the hottest teams in the league, we see what led to some of the struggles after the break for the Storm as well, with just chemistry issues, toxic locker room. We were talking about the Chicago Sky. We should have been talking about the Seattle Storm. But it seems like the coaches were berating players, allegedly. I'm not here to jump to any conclusions. I'm not here to point any fingers, but I just think it's wrong how Skylar Diggins is getting done in this whole situation. I mean, it's nasty work. It's a bad look on the franchise, and it's a lot of It feels like, man, it sucks, to be honest, because Coach Noel Quinn's come in and done a good job, just with the on the court stuff. Good young coach, been in the league. Players seem to want to play for it, but I mean, this is just a really, really unfortunate situation for a team that was really, really fun to watch. But this is nasty work. Is it a case of the locker room being soft and not being able to take constructive criticism and fiery coaching, the Bob Knight style of things? Or is there a culture of bullying, a toxic culture where players feel uncomfortable within the Seattle Storm organization? Something to monitor there, man. But I think it's really not cool how they're doing Skylar Diggins-Smith, man. She's a great player, great ambassador for the game, and she shouldn't be made a scapegoat to try to cover something up. It seems like we're just hitting the tip of the iceberg, though, and there's still a lot more information to gather based off this. But the fact that uh, Diggins-Smith as well as Guamke have gone ahead and unfollowed Jewel Lloyd on social media. I'm not saying it means anything, but it definitely is something to know. It's something to know, and it's something to consider, man. But I just wanted to kind of go and talk about that a little bit with you guys because I think it's just a really shady situation, and we'll keep y'all updated because everybody's been talking about it. But definitely a storm brewing in Seattle, and it's nasty work right now. It really is. It's another stain on the WNBA, a league that is trying to get people to actively take them serious, and they're just not handling business. Where is Kathy Engelberg with a statement to address this situation and say they're not going to stand for it or say they're at least aware of it? I mean, it's nasty right now. Moving on, we know the LA Sparks had recently canned their coach. Now they brought in Utah's Lynn Roberts straight out of college to be the new head coach of the LA Sparks. Exciting news as the coaching carousel gets a fresh face. Like we mentioned, Lynn Roberts will be the new head coach of the Los Angeles Sparks. The Sparks, for the second year straight, have the number one or the number two pick, excuse me, in the WNBA draft. Many people think they're leaning towards Kiki Ariafen. Maybe Flauncey Johnson comes out and changes some things with that situation. But the LA Sparks have their coach. Seppi, welcome in, welcome in. Word is they were following each other, and now they're not. There's been speculation though that maybe they weren't. From what I've seen, what I've gathered, it seemed like they were following each other, and it would be hard for me to believe that Scott Diggs and Jewel Lloyd never followed each other with them playing in college together. But word is they unfollowed each other, and that's not the end all be all. That could really mean nothing. But I just thought it was something that we should at least mention. Because once you unfollow somebody, that means you ain't trying to kick it with them, skate with them, chill with them, nothing. You don't give a damn about what's going on in their lives after you hit that unfollow button. But it could be nothing. It could all be overblown. Like we really don't know. Everything's still kind of getting gathered information. The investigation's still coming along, so we're still trying to figure out exactly what all the details are. But it's definitely some contradicting stories going on for sure. But like I said, Roberts coming in replaces Kurt Miller, who was there for 2 seasons. The Sparks are 8-32 under Kurt Miller in his last 2 seasons. They missed the playoffs 4 consecutive seasons. He went on to join the Dallas Wings. Now Roberts, a little bit about her. She was the 2023 Pac-12 Coach of the Year, lead in Utah. Of course, she coached Alyssa Peely, and that team was very fun to watch. She has a solid young core to build around. You got Derek and Hamby, who was most improved player, definitely to show that she's a franchise level player. You got Rakia Jackson, who's an all-star level talent. Cameron Brink will be coming off of injury, but she was one of the league shot blockers in the league. You got Hamby, you got Jackson, you got Brink to build around, and you got the number 2 pick. So it will be interesting to see. They did quote say, she said, the Sparks have a talented roster with tremendous upside, and we will compete tirelessly for WNBA championships. She says, I believe Los Angeles should be the premier market in the WNBA, and I'm eager to partner with our players and our front office to make this happen. Now, she was at Utah for over 9 seasons. She made 3 consecutive NCAA tournaments and led them to the conference regular season title and their best finish, Sweet 16 in 2023. They were 3-1 before she dipped out of there. Now they also said her ability to partner with players while creating a winning culture will translate as we continue our path toward championship contention. That is a quote from Sparks general manager Reagan Pebley. He said, or Pavley said, Lynn has a dynamic and forward-thinking offensive mind, and her up-tempo style fits perfectly with the way we want to play. We love how she maximized her talent at Utah. It's one of the nation's strongest conferences. Yeah, the Pac-12 was lit last year. We know that. But the Sparks get a coach that's coming in with energy. They're going to score a lot of points. They're going to play fast. They're going to push the pace. They need a point guard really to be able to initiate this offense. But y'all saw what she did with Alyssa Peely at Utah, developing her into a first-round WNBA draft pick. So I think it'll be exciting to see how Cameron Brink, who she's very familiar with, and Rakia Jackson progress under her tutelage. But the Sparks have a new coach. They got the number 2 pick. They missed out. Apparently, we're assuming they missed out on the Paige Becker sweepstakes, but still a lot of talent that they can bring in. I definitely think they need a point guard, depending on what they decide to do with a few of their backcourt members. But yeah, I think a point guard would be the move for them. If not, if you're just looking for the best player available, Kiki Iriafen, Los Angeles kid as well, picking her up with the number 2 pick definitely adds another young forward in this stable of talents that they have already. But the Sparks, big news for them, man. We know who's going to be leading their next era. One of the pillars, one of the flagship programs or franchises, I should say, in the WNBA, have won titles. One of the biggest markets in Los Angeles. The league is better when LA is flourishing, and now they feel like they have the coach to do it. So y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. Give me your takeaways from that situation as well. Sparks have a new coach. The Seattle Storm could be looking for one soon. I like the Spark Tire though. They're gonna score points. Hopefully the defense improves. They get a structure. She will be able to help them establish an identity as well. But they have a lot of athletes, a lot of walking mismatches. When you have Cameron Brink, when you have Rakia Jackson, when you have Erica Hamby, 3 very mobile bigs that fit the type of style that she demands out of her forwards at Utah, can shoot the ball, can handle it, can pass it, can really get up and down the floor. I think this was a really home run hire. You're not seeing a whole lot of college coaches getting plugged for WNBA jobs, but this was one that definitely opened some eyes, and I like the pick. I think there will definitely be an adjustment period. They're still, like I said, trying to figure out an identity. This is not going to be a turnaround in year one, but I think they will build a foundation, establish an identity, and most importantly, with young teams that are rebuilding, she will come in, Roberts, and develop that young talent, get the max potential out of them like she did at Utah. She wasn't recruiting 5-star prospects at Utah, but she was developing talent, finding undercover, underrated gems, and maximizing their abilities on the court. And I think she will do the same thing in LA. So I think this was a really good pickup. Y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments. I think the future is bright for the Sparks. Definitely got to get a point guard. Definitely got to continue to figure out what your best five is. What are they going to do with this roster? I ain't gonna lie. I mean, they bring in Odyssey Sims. They keep her. Kia Nurse is a solid point guard as well if you're gonna go that route. I know they had Lexi Brown battling Lyme disease, but this backcourt's got some firepower. They could use a little youth influx of youth, but we'll see. Olivia Miles will be there at number 2 if they decide to go that route. Theo says the NBA needs to step in. Adam Silver needs to come save the day, man. He says Adam Silver needs to come save the day for real. You look at the roster. I'm still mad Zia Cook is not getting any playing time. But you potentially get Lexi Brown back. De'Erica Hamby, your franchise player, averaged 17 points, 9 rebounds, 3.5 assists. You bring back Odyssey Sims, who I thought was a big pickup for them. She was hooping out in Dallas. She was averaging 12.6 points, 5.3 assists per game. Maybe she is the starting point guard for this group next year. She was leading the team in assists. You got Kia Nurse, who is a solid backup point guard, who I think is talented. Ray Burrell, I think, is another solid wing that they have on this roster. Crystal Dangerfield. Ari McDonald, if she doesn't end up leaving for free agency, I think is a really good role player. Honestly, man, she was second on the team in assists with 3.7. She averaged 8.7 points per game. She had some big games. Struggled with turnovers a bit sometimes, but I definitely think she is a quality player as well. You get Laisha Clarendon. There's a lot of guards in this backcourt that have different games that bring a lot to the backcourt, like that bring different skill sets to this backcourt. Some of them better shooters than others, like Lexi. You got Kia Nurse, the vet, who may be the best perimeter defender out of the bunch. Do they go point guard or do they add to that front court, depending on what they think they have coming back? That will be something to monitor, man. But yeah, I love Odyssey Sims on this team. I'm not gonna And I think, and then you got Yi Yuru as well. That's why I'm saying, man, they're still trying to develop her. So are they really gonna bring in another big to the fold? But maybe they feel like they want to reunite Cam Brink with her college teammate. We saw Cameron Brink and Kiki do work at Stanford. The chemistry's there. We know they can play together. How long will it take Cameron Brink to get back to being Cameron Brink is something else that we will have to monitor as well with this group. She's coming off that ACL. She was definitely flourishing on both ends of the floor, especially the defensive side. She was one of the lead leaders in blocks. She was continuing to find her offensive game, knocking down shots, getting off the dribble, extremely mobile. If she comes back at 100%, and then with the strides that Rakia Jackson made, were just incredible. She benefit more than anybody with Cameron Brink being out. Rakia Jackson proved that she may be the second best rookie in this class, and that she is definitely an all-star talent, a potential elite level 3 level scorer, just confident, started on the bench, got starts, improved on defense, and really just improved her overall feel for the game. She had some big scoring nights, some outputting. She was efficient most nights towards the end of the season. So they definitely have a young group, but they have a nice blend of vets too. But it's definitely going to be major to see what they do with that number 2 pick. Do they go with like an Olivia Miles, who can come in, play the point guard, initiate the offense, put pressure on defenses in open space, getting downhill, attacking the cup, walking triple double? Do they go that route or do they go Kiki Raven, who is a super skilled big, maybe the most skilled big in this entire draft? Um, they got. I mean, number 2 pick, other than Paige Beckers, you can pretty much go for anybody you want. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. They got their new coach on board. That is one domino down. Now they got to do their homework and make sure they hit a home run in this draft to continue to build this roster up. But yeah, Theo, I feel you, man. The NBA might need to. I don't know, man. It's just they need. It feels like the WNBA needs new leadership, new stable leadership, people that aren't afraid to really mix it up, get to the bottom of things, and stop tolerating so much nonsense. WNBA has been a mess for a long time. You ain't lying, Lindy. You not lying about that. You are not lying about that. They keep shooting themselves in the foot. The WNBA are their own worst enemy with marketing, with expansion sometimes, with the rules. I mean, they really get in their own way, man. The WNBA has been shooting themselves in the foot for years. They have a great product, but the leadership has just been incompetent. And it's sad to see. It's sad to see because the league is suffering, the product is suffering, the players are obviously suffering and crying out for help. We just saw what happened with the Las Vegas Aces, and now you got this nonsense with the Storm. The Players Association has been tight-lipped, hasn't said anything. Commissioner hasn't said anything. Governing bodies haven't said anything. They need some stern leadership in place that is going to put an end to the nonsense and has the capability and the empathy to relate to players and look out for their own well-being, man. This is why this is why there's a potential strike on the horizon with the new CBA going on. I mean, it's just the WNBA low key is in shambles right now. I mean, an absolute shambles, y'all. The league is in shambles. And guys, if you're just joining in, make sure you hit that subscribe button, comment, like, share. Stay up with all the latest and the greatest. Join our memberships and follow us at Brandon Lee TV. If you're just joining, we've been talking about the situation with the Seattle Storm, how the WNBA and Commissioner Engelbert have not released any statement or even acknowledged the fact that there's an investigation going on. The fact that the Seattle Storm have hired a law firm to investigate their own coaching staff. Noelle Quinn, this is a bad look on her and the staff. I don't like how I spent 10 minutes talking about it. We can revisit. I don't like how they're painting Skylar Diggins as a scapegoat, as like the angry black woman. I don't think it's cool that they're trying to make her look like a bad teammate. For calling out her teammates for being soft and playing lazy basketball, playing sloppy basketball, playing without passion. Like, get tougher, bro. We've all played sports. We've all had a coach or a teammate get on us before. And it's nothing to write home about or cry about. I understand that stuff that was acceptable 10, 20 years ago, the Bob Knight approach, a lot of people don't find acceptable right now. But the fact that they're trying to play her as a bad teammate, I think is nasty work. The fact that they're trying to portray her as an angry black woman that's just out here yelling at people, cussing people out for no reason, I think is absolutely nasty work. Scott Diggs has been a great ambassador for women's hoops for a long time. She's never been accused of being a bad teammate, and she's not out there just bullying people. But, it's contradicting stories. I mean, they were having team-only meetings where they didn't even feel comfortable talking in front of Nick and Guamke because of her ties to the Players Association, as well as there felt like her loyalty was more to the coaches. This is just year one, y'all. This is just year one. NBA kept WNBA going. The players brought this on themselves. Bad leadership, man. It's bad leadership. And we were talking about the Sky locker room being toxic. We should have been talking about the Seattle Storm the whole dang time. The WNBA has not acknowledged this situation at all whatsoever. Haven't acknowledged it. No statements being made. And I get it. It's still early in this investigation. It's still going on. And all the facts are still being gathered. But you cannot sit in silence while people continue to speculate and tear down the league. You cannot just sit there in silence and do nothing. Adam Silver would never. Yeah, Gamble. I absolutely like the hire as well. I like the hire as well. They're gonna have that offense humming. They're gonna be spreading the basketball. They're gonna be playing fast. They're gonna be getting up and down that court. They're gonna be putting pressure on teams in transition. The federal complaint is against the coaching staff. Yeah, and it's the coaching staff being investigated for toxic culture, for bullying, for harassment of players based off playing and production on the court. I just don't like the fact that Skylar Diggins is being thrown under the bus. I really just don't think that she's being treated fairly or a fair picture is being painted of Skylar Diggins. I just think she's being done wrong. Um, I just wish she had Paige to coach. Man, I talked about it in my live last night. I think the WNBA fumbled, not guaranteeing Paige to Los Angeles. That was a match made in heaven. Dallas, from a basketball standpoint, Dallas is going to be an elite team. Her and Enrique are going to fit like a glove. That team's going to be a championship contender in year one. Satu Sabali looks like she's going to be coming back. Like, that team is stacked. But, however, man, LA was made for Paige. And having a point guard like Paige with this coach and this system, oh man, they'd have been running the gun and they'd have looked like the Phoenix Suns with Nash and D'Antoni. Yeah, I agree. Kathy's making some money for the league, but she definitely stinks at supporting the players, and that's been a really big gripe that they've had with her for some years now. For some years now. And yeah, we know the complaint is against the coach and the staff, but Skylar Diggins was mentioned as a player that, they kind of painted her as a bully. If y'all go back and read the reports, they're trying to paint Skylar Diggins as a bully that was out here cussing out teammates and just berating players. And, Coach Quinn was cool with it and encouraged it and influenced this type of behavior. So I just don't like how they threw Scott Gates in there and tried to throw her under the bus, and that's why she came out. I mean, she sees it. Did y'all not see what she put on Instagram? She brought out the Kendrick lyrics. Don't tell a lie on me. I won't tell the truth about you. Kendrick lyrics. This is war right here. Scott Diggs is definitely feeling some type of way, man. They're doing her dirty right now, bro. They are doing her dirty right now, in my opinion. It's not cool. It is not cool. No, it's definitely not on Skylar Diggs. This situation is not on one player. I don't think it's on the players in general, to be honest, at all. But yeah, I mean, Skylar Diggins has been known as a player that is passionate, that is super competitive, and that will hold her teammates accountable, and that's nothing wrong with that. Skylar is mostly saying it politely. I don't think it's just Skylar though. The chemistry is broken for the Storm. Players are going to have to leave at this point. Yeah, I don't think there's any coming back from this. I absolutely don't think there's any coming back from this situation. Yeah, I think it's a wrap. I think you gotta. And it's crazy. This is just year one. This was supposed to be a super team. This was the team that the league was kind of scared of. Y'all remember the stare down, the stare off between Asia Wilson and Jewel Lloyd? This was the team we thought people would get a little shaky of. And now we're seeing it's a dumpster fire in year one that could be coming to an end. It's just nasty work, man. It's nasty work. It's a bad look on the league. It's a bad look on the league. I get that the situation is still unfolding, facts are still being gathered, and all that. But you cannot remain quiet and just let all these accusations be thrown around. You got a franchise that hired a law firm to investigate its own coaching staff. This is not a good look. This is not a good look at all. But guys, I just wanted to hop on real quick for a live. We will have content all this week. I got y'all locked in with the biggest storylines in sports. And make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. And also, I just put out a video update on LSU as well as South Carolina for my women's college hoop fans. If you are women's college hoop fans, go check the content. I've been laying out mad videos, great content, very informative, breaking down the latest, hottest topics and storylines in women's college hoops. Yeah, Skylar's too honest and upfront, man. She rubbing people the wrong way because she telling it how it is. Stop being soft. She telling it how it is, and people got their feelings hurt. September, welcome in, welcome in. The Storm has a lot of veterans, and I don't see them competing for a championship with this roster. Yeah, it's crazy that we're calling for them to break it up after year one. After year one, we already called it quits. We may never get to see the full potential of this team. You definitely have to have chemistry. Agreed. Agreed. And it seems like they're too far gone at this point. It seems like they're too far gone. There's no way that you're gonna get these three superstars to bond in now. Diggs, Lloyd, I don't see how they can share a backcourt anymore. Guamake, it seems like, from the reports, they were having team meetings without her presence. So seems like there could be some lack of trust there. She's spoken highly about the coaching staff, but yeah, I think they're gonna have to blow it up. They're gonna have to blow this roster up, and it's a dang shame. It's a shame, man. It really is. We never got to see the full potential of this team and what they could be. Yeah, I mean, they may be looking for a new coach too. Coach Quinn might be out of there. Maybe they just clean house and start over. Maybe they just clean house and start over and get rid of it. Depending on what else unfolds and what other kind of details come out about this situation, yeah, they may have to go ahead and blow it up. And it stinks because they were a really fun team to watch before the Olympic break. One of the best defensive teams in the league. Scott Diggs was having an incredible season. Jewel Lloyd was a little up and down, but she was having some scoring output as well, big games when she was on. Like, we never got to see them hit their full potential. And to give them 1 year, I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame, man. It's truly a shame. You hate to see it. Yeah, I don't see how they can move forward. How can you share a locker room? How can you go to war? What kind of sisterhood can you reestablish after everything that is going on in your locker room is on blast right now? Everybody's looking in, wondering what the heck is going on. Everybody's thinking the same thing. The sky got a problem. Toxic culture, lack of leadership, bullying. Players not feeling comfortable. Players maybe not feeling exactly the safest to be themselves, not feeling like this team is a safe space. How does this impact future draft picks? Will they get fined? What kind of sanctions are they going to face potentially? There's all types of stuff. How will this impact free agents? You just brought in two of the top free agents in the entire market. How does this affect free agency moving forward? Do you get another superstar to come play in Seattle? And it's a lot to look at, man. It sucks because Seattle's a great place for basketball. But, we'll keep y'all updated with any updates that we have, man. We're going to call it a night. That's a wrap for us. For all the latest and the greatest, join our memberships. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment, like, share, and follow us on all social media at Brandon Lee TV. And go check out my latest content. Definitely uploaded some videos for y'all earlier today. That's a wrap for us. Until next time, thank y'all so much. I feel like I got the best chat I have to tell y'all and all of YouTube. Y'all always show up and show out. Much love. Have a great night, everyone. Take care. Until next time, we out. Much love.